For content creation and sales calls, how long does it take to go from having a very strong foreign accent to sounding crystal clear and very American, just like I did? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not claiming that my accent is 100% perfect, but I will say that most Americans I meet think I'm from somewhere in the US or even Canada when I mention that my brother lives there. So I'd say, based on me actually having successfully changed my own accent using what I learned at acting school, I'm a pretty good authority on the subject. And that's easily one of the most common questions I get, and it makes sense. It's a very logical question. The thing is, we need to be very clear on our goals here. Anything related to mastery is going to take a long time. There's just no way around it. If you've ever heard of the 10,000 hour rule, you know that you have to put in your time. It certainly didn't happen overnight for myself either. It took lots of effort, lots of patience, and lots of discipline. The good thing is that most of the people I work with now are high-level online business owners. For example, they run agencies for ads, automation services, and content creation, or they're online coaches, which means they are people that take action. They're not the average person in the comment section on social media, which is probably unemployed and just complaining about how hard life is all the time. But I digress. The answer to this question is, it depends. There are various factors at play here. What's the framework you're using to even work on this? How much work are you realistically putting into this every day and during the week? Are you showing up to the coaching calls? Are you getting lots of real-time feedback and pressure-tested feedback? And what's your starting point to begin with? The reason it's difficult to say is because this is not a done-for-you thing. You're the one who has to put in the work. A coach like me can show you the way and give you lots of feedback and all the instructions of what you should be doing, but unfortunately, I can't do it for you. So I know that might sound like a bit of a downer, but I'd much rather be realistic with you instead of just lying to you and saying that, yes, everyone can become 100% American in, I don't know, a year. It just doesn't work like that. Think about it more like getting your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example. Some people train for 10 years and they still are not a proper black belt, or they might have the rank of a black belt, but they kind of suck. They just stuck around long enough and got the promotion so they wouldn't feel bad about themselves. However, the good thing is that working on your accent is not a combat sport. It just comes down to the actions you take and being consistent. Yes, there's a degree of language ability involved here, but if you learn the mechanics of a sound and you repeat it often enough, and you are forced to do so under more stressful circumstances, inevitably you will be able to make that sound a part of your normal everyday speech. It's just a matter of habit building. So what I always tell people is that if your goal is to become 100% native, that's going to take a long time. For reference, it took me about 1.5 years to get to this way of speaking. And again, even I am not 100% American. I'd say I'm like 98 or 97% American. The vast majority of Americans, though, that I meet, they don't know I'm not American. Sometimes they notice, but the vast majority of people thinks I'm born somewhere in America. Even like just recently, somebody thought I was from California. So very, very common for me. That being said, if your goal is to be in the 80 to 90% bracket, I actually think that's very, very doable in a much shorter time frame. Again, difficult to put an exact amount of time on it because it really depends on your effort, but this is a lot more comparable to noob gains in the gym. In the beginning, you can make way better gains because everything you're learning and adjusting is new. So the gain that you're getting from those adjustments is huge. Now, something that's even more achievable is knowing what the American accent is made up of, being able to make those sounds when you're focused on them, being able to reliably self-assess if you're saying them correctly, and having a system in place to adequately prepare for filming content or being on sales calls, and you can actually sound a lot more confident and more American, and that is doable in a much shorter time frame. And that's, by the way, the exact goal of the cohort program I'm launching. It starts in April and is capped at 6 people. 4 of those spots are already sold. This is going to take you through exactly what I just described, and you'll work with scripts in front of other people, forcing you to pressure test everything you're learning, and at the same time, you're also going to develop your ability to hear and notice your own mistakes because you will spend so much time listening to other people get corrected as well. Which, by the way, this is exactly how I got really good at my own accent. Right now, this is an 8-week program, so if you want to make a real change to your accent with a high-level professional that's actually changed his own accent successfully using Hollywood accent techniques, go ahead and click on the link below and book a free accent assessment. On that call, we'll identify exactly what's holding your accent back, and we'll also map out how to fix it. If you want to check out more of my stuff first, or maybe send me a DM, you can join my free community as well with the second link in the description. All right, and that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, okay.